A nested statement is when a statement has been included inside another. So we've got a couple of examples of nested statements here. So I've got an if-else statement here, and that is nested inside this for loop, and this for loop here has been nested inside the other for loop. So I've labeled this one an outer for loop, an inner for loop, and then a comparison indicator. So what this is going to do is it's going to run the outer for loop. So we'll carry out that. Is outer listen 5, yes. If it is, do this. And it basically will count out this, do this. If inner is less than 5, do this. If inner is less than 5, so 0 is less than 0, write an X, otherwise write an O. It finishes this, goes back, carries out the inner. We'll do that 5 times, and then we'll finish that inner for loop. Then gets to the end of the outer loop, finishes this, adds 1 onto outer, so outer is 1. And now goes back, redoes this 5 times. Over and over. And it finishes, does that, goes back, outer becomes 2, does this another 5 times, and again. So when we run this, we're just going to display the output, and we'll drag this over to the side. So we can sort of see, first time it all prints O's, so it's running through that. We notice it's going 5 by 5, but which way is which? Now what we're going to do is just modify this, so we're going to have outer loop is going to carry out 10 times, so we should be able to actually see which way this is working. So what we can see from here is that the outer loop is essentially carrying out the rows, and the inner loop is working through the columns. Now we've got a little pattern that's happening here, so we've got these X's that are appearing. So let's modify this, and let's just say rather than if inner is less than, let's say if it is equal to, we're going to write an X. So I'm going to start that and run it, and you'll see only when row 0, column 0, row 1, column 1, column 2, row 2, column 3, row 3, column 4, row 4. Remember, we start counting at 0, it prints an X. I can do it the other way around, so I could change it to a not equal to. And it flicks the symbols around. Or I could change it to a less than or equal to, or greater than, more than, less than or equal to. And we can get different shapes and patterns. So what there's going to be is a little challenge, which will flash up at the end. And using the code that is here, you're to have a go at creating the different patterns that are there. You might need to add some extra if statements and else statements to compare. So there's going to be a bit of trial and error to try and generate these patterns.